Welcome, Dreamrise fam. Today we dive into the fascinating world of human nature. We're setting out on a journey of self-discovery, guided by the insightful work of Robert Greene, The Laws of Human Nature. This book, a treasure trove of wisdom, dives deep into the intricacies of our behavior and emotions, leading us to a better understanding of ourselves and others. As we navigate through this exploration, we'll unravel the often overlooked laws that govern our actions, reactions, and interactions. From the law of irrationality to the law of shortsightedness, each principle reveals a unique facet of our complex human nature. So, whether you're seeking personal growth, improved relationships, or a greater understanding of the world around you, this summary promises to shed light on the unspoken rules that shape our lives. So, buckle up, prepare your mind, and let's delve into the laws that govern our behavior and emotions. We start with the law of irrationality. This law states that as humans, we often make decisions based on our emotions rather than our rational thinking. It's an intriguing concept, isn't it? The idea that our feelings can often override our logical thought processes. But let's delve a bit deeper into this. Imagine you're at the supermarket and you're in a bit of a rush. You spot a candy bar at the checkout counter. You know it's not the healthiest choice, but you're hungry, and it's right there. So you grab it. It's a simple example, but it illustrates how our emotions, in this case hunger and impatience, can cloud our rational judgment. Or consider a more complex example. Let's say you're in a heated argument with a friend. You know that remaining calm and composed is the best course of action, but your anger gets the better of you, and you say something you later regret. Again, your emotions have overridden your rational thinking. So, how can understanding the law of irrationality help us in our daily lives? Firstly, it can make us more aware of our decision-making processes. We can start to notice when our emotions are taking the driver's seat and try to bring our rational mind back into control. Secondly, it can help us in our interactions with others. If we understand that people often act based on their emotions rather than logic, we can approach situations with more empathy and patience. Remember, this law isn't about suppressing our emotions. Emotions are an integral part of our human experience. But by recognizing the role they play in our decisions, we can strive for a better balance between our emotional and rational selves. And finally, understanding the law of irrationality can help us navigate the complexities of human nature. It can provide a lens through which to view our own behaviors, as well as those of the people around us. Always remember, emotions often rule, not logic. Scene script. Next up is the law of narcissism. Narcissism, a term rooted in Greek mythology, is a concept that's woven into the fabric of our human nature. It's a trait characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, but coupled with a lack of empathy for others. It's not merely self-love, but a distorted self-image that often leads to self-obsession. Now, why is understanding narcissism important? It's because it's prevalent in varying degrees in all of us, and it can significantly color our perceptions and interactions. Narcissism can act as a lens, a filter if you will, that can distort our view of ourselves and others. It may lead us to overestimate our abilities, underestimate others, or even manipulate situations to our benefit, often at the expense of others. Managing and navigating through this trait in others can be quite a challenge. It requires a keen sense of observation and understanding. You might notice a narcissist constantly seeking validation or exhibiting a grandiose sense of entitlement. They may often belittle others to lift themselves or react with rage or contempt if they feel they're not getting the respect or admiration they believe they deserve. But remember, it's not about labeling or judging others. It's about understanding the underlying patterns, the motivations, and the behaviors, so we can interact more effectively. When dealing with narcissists, it's crucial to maintain a strong sense of self, set clear boundaries, and avoid getting drawn into their reality distortion field. But let's not forget, we too have our shades of narcissism. It's about recognizing and managing our own narcissistic tendencies, ensuring they don't cloud our judgment or relationships. It's about balancing self-love with empathy and understanding for others, creating a healthier dynamic in our interactions. Recognizing narcissism can dramatically improve our interactions. And that's the essence of the law of narcissism. It's not about demonizing it, but understanding it, managing it, and using it as a tool to navigate the complex maze of human nature. Scene script. Let's explore the law of role-playing. In the grand theater of life, we're all actors adorning different masks, playing different roles, often without realizing it. From the confident executive to the nurturing parent, from the obedient employee to the rebellious teenager, these roles are not just mere labels. They are intricate patterns of behavior, attitudes, and emotions that we adopt in response to our social environment. But why do we play these roles? Well, it's simple. They provide us with a sense of identity, a sense of belonging. They help us navigate the complex labyrinth of social interactions with relative ease. They give us the language, the script to express ourselves and to understand others. Yet, these roles can sometimes limit our perspective, confine us within invisible walls. We may become so engrossed in our roles that we lose sight of our true selves. Imagine it this way. You're so used to wearing a mask that you forget what your face looks like. That's when role-playing becomes a problem. But fret not. Understanding this law can be a game changer. When you realize that people are often playing roles, you can start to see beyond the surface. You can begin to understand the motivations and fears that underpin these roles. This understanding can enhance your communication skills, improve your relationships, and even help you influence others. For instance, if you understand that your boss is playing the role of a tough leader, you can tailor your communication to appeal to their leadership style. Or if you realize that your friend is playing the peacemaker role in a group, you can appreciate their efforts to maintain harmony. So the next time you find yourself in a social situation, try to discern the roles people are playing. Reflect on your own roles too. Are they serving you well, or are they holding you back? Remember, you have the power to choose your roles, to rewrite your script. The roles we play are often more telling than we think. Now, the law of compulsive behavior. As we delve deeper into the laws of human nature, we arrive at a fascinating yet often misunderstood law, the law of compulsive behavior. It's a law that governs the repetitive patterns of behavior we all exhibit, often without even realizing it. Imagine a hamster on a wheel, running tirelessly but not making any real progress. That's us, in essence, trapped in our own compulsive behaviors. These patterns can be as simple as biting your nails when you're nervous, or as complex as spiraling into negative thinking when faced with a challenging situation. Compulsive behaviors are not always negative. In fact, they can be beneficial when they drive us towards positive habits, like maintaining a regular exercise routine or practicing mindfulness. However, it's the compulsive behaviors that lead us down harmful paths that we need to acknowledge and address. For instance, consider a person who compulsively checks their smartphone. This behavior not only disrupts their focus, but can also lead to increased levels of stress and anxiety. Recognizing this pattern is the first step towards breaking free from it. The law of compulsive behavior serves as a mirror, reflecting our behaviors back at us, allowing us to see the patterns we may have been blind to. By recognizing these patterns, we can then take active steps to modify or eliminate them, thereby gaining greater control over our lives. Why is this important, you may ask? Well, understanding and managing our compulsive behaviors can lead to improved relationships, better mental health, and an overall increase in the quality of our lives. It's like taking off a blindfold we didn't even realize we were wearing. Remember, recognizing compulsive behavior is not about self-criticism or judgment. It's about understanding ourselves better, so we can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and resilience. In the end, it all boils down to self-awareness and the courage to make changes when necessary. As we gain insight into our compulsive patterns, we can begin to replace them with healthier alternatives, effectively breaking free from the wheel. Breaking free from compulsions opens new paths. Moving on, we have the law of covetousness. This intriguing law delves into the depths of our desires and the green-eyed monster of envy that lurks within us all. When we covet, we yearn to possess something that belongs to another. It's an intense, often uncontrollable desire that can influence our behavior in profound ways. Let's take a moment to explore this further. Human nature is inherently desirous. We crave love, success, wealth, power, and countless other things. These desires drive us, shaping our actions and decisions, often subconsciously. However, when these desires fixate on what others have, the seeds of envy are sown. This is where the law of covetousness comes into play. Envy is a powerful emotion. It can make us feel inadequate, fuel resentment, and even lead us to act in ways we wouldn't ordinarily. It stems from comparison, from seeing someone else possess something we desire and feeling a sense of injustice or longing. We might envy a friend's success, a colleague's promotion, or even a stranger's lifestyle. This intense emotion can push us to strive for more, but it can also lead us down a path of discontent and frustration. Understanding the law of covetousness helps us manage these feelings. It teaches us to acknowledge our desires and envy without letting them control us. We learn to appreciate what we have and work towards what we want, without falling into the trap of constant comparison. It's about recognizing that everyone's journey is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. The law doesn't condemn desire or envy, but it encourages us to channel these feelings in a constructive way. Instead of letting envy fuel negativity, we can use it as a motivator to improve ourselves, to set goals and strive to achieve them. It's crucial to remember, though, that unchecked desire and envy can lead to discontentment and unhappiness. So, while it's natural to want more, it's equally important to appreciate what we already have and understand that everyone's path is different. Envy is natural, but controlling it is key. Lastly, we examine the law of shortsightedness. It's a fascinating aspect of human nature, one that often leads us astray in our pursuits. Here we delve into the human tendency to prioritize immediate gratification over long-term benefits. This, my friends, is the crux of short-sightedness. Try to picture this. You're presented with two options. Option 1 is a sweet, delicious piece of cake available to you right now. Option 2, on the other hand, is a promise of a healthier, fitter you in the future, but it requires you to resist that tempting piece of cake. The immediate allure of the cake often outweighs the distant promise of a healthier body. This is a simple illustration of short-sightedness, where we as humans often opt for instant pleasure, disregarding the long-term consequences. However, let's not be too hard on ourselves. After all, our ancestors had to prioritize immediate needs for survival. Hunting for food, seeking shelter. These immediate needs drove their actions, not the promise of a comfortable life years down the line. But we've evolved since then, and our circumstances have changed dramatically. And yet this old survival instinct still lingers within us, influencing our decisions. So how do we combat this short-sightedness? The answer lies in patience and foresight. Patience allows us to resist immediate temptations, giving us the breathing room to consider the future implications of our actions. Foresight, on the other hand, is our ability to project into the future, to visualize the potential outcomes of our choices. Together they form a powerful antidote to the poison of short-sightedness. It's not easy, of course. It requires practice and discipline. It demands that we challenge our instincts, that we question our desires. But the rewards are worth it. A healthier body, a secure future, a peaceful mind. These are the fruits of patience and foresight. So next time you're faced with a decision, pause. Take a moment to consider not just the immediate effects, but the long-term consequences as well. Remember, the path of least resistance is often a slippery slope. Patience, indeed, is a virtue. We've journeyed through the laws that shape our nature. We've delved into the depths of our irrationality, unveiling the raw human instinct that often defies logic and reason. This law, the law of irrationality, teaches us to recognize and manage our emotions, helping us make more rational, objective decisions. Next, we confronted the law of narcissism, understanding how our inherent self-interest can cloud our judgment. By acknowledging our narcissistic tendencies, we can better empathize with others and foster stronger, more authentic relationships. Then we stepped onto the stage of life with the law of role-playing. We discovered that we are all actors and actresses, constantly adapting our roles to navigate social landscapes. Recognizing this, we can better understand others and ourselves, making our interactions more meaningful. Our journey also led us to the law of compulsive behavior. We learned that our habits, our repeated behaviors, can either empower or ensnare us. By recognizing and controlling our compulsions, we can steer our lives towards fulfillment and growth. As we moved forward, we encountered the law of covetousness, reminding us of our innate desire for more. This law encourages us to balance our ambitions with gratitude, to appreciate what we have while striving for what we want. Lastly, we peered through the lens of the law of short-sightedness. This law warns us of the pitfalls of immediate gratification and impulsive decision-making. It urges us to take a long-term perspective, to consider the bigger picture in our choices. In understanding these laws, we gain valuable insights into our own nature and the nature of those around us. These laws are not just theories. They are practical tools that can help us navigate our personal and professional lives more effectively. They enable us to understand, predict, and influence human behavior, empowering us to become better individuals, leaders, and contributors to society. Thank you for joining us today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Dreamrise for more insightful content. Until next time, keep exploring,